Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this alternate Let's Play series for Farming Simulator 22, where I'm going to be playing on the Elk Creek map, but I'm going to be playing without seasons. So this is going to be the opposite can be from my Haut Beyleron Series. I'm also going to be starting in start from scratch mode, so things are going to be completely different. We're not going to have a pre-built farm, we're not going to have a silo and sheds and everything. It's going to be start from scratch, Elm Creek, no seasons, plant what we like when we like. Let's see, let's have some fun with the game, shall we? Oh, by the way, this is Dolores Floffelbotham. If you watched any of my FS19 Let's Plays, I had a character called Dolores Floffelbotham in a couple of series. This is how she now looks in Farm Simulator 22 at the moment. I couldn't really find anything that really suited, you know. I mean, shirt-wise. I think we have to go safety first, don't we? You know. Safety first. Safety first. Can't change the colour of my trousers. Can't change the colour of my shoes. She's not wearing a hat. She has got some sunglasses on. That's Dolores Floffelbotham now. She looks a little... I'm not too sure I like how the female characters look in FS22. But, this is probably the only time we'll ever see her until we get a third-person mod for the game. So, anyway, let's jump into it, shall we? Okay, so here we are. We've loaded onto the map, and it's loaded us in at the default start point. But, as you can see from the map screen, we do not have a farm here, where you would normally have a farm in new farmer mode. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little bit different, I think, in that I'm going to have a quick sort of run round or fly round, and I'm going to use the fantastic flight mode options to go and check out some of the other areas on the map. Now, what I've deduced already is that there are a couple of other starting farm locations in each of the four corners of the map. So, and up here. So let's go check out the four corners. We'll head down to the southwest corner first. And then we'll head southeast. I'm probably gonna just pick one of these two farms as my starting base. I'm probably not gonna go up north. I think these fields up here, given the type of land that is in these areas, are more designed if you're going to go for a forestry start to the series. I'm probably not going to do forestry right from the beginning. We down there? Have we made it down here? I'm over here, look. Right, yes. So this is the starting area then. It's got four little fields. We've got a shed. There's a house. Ravenwood Farm. So there's Ravenwood for Larson's Loyal Livestock. Obvious thing to test would be, can we remove anything from this area? Not until we probably own it, I would think. We'll scrap that plan for the minute. We can have a look at destroying buildings once we've made a commitment as to which of the fields we are going to buy. Which are the starting farms. I'm not going to pick the reason I'm not going to pick the default starting farm location is because A, I'm using that on my multiplayer server as our farm location, and I don't want it to be exactly the same as my multiplayer server. And also it means we're going to have to travel a bit further. We're going to have to drive a bit further to get equipment from the shop and stuff. I noticed on both maps, this map and Haut Beyleron, the store is located right next to the farm, so it's not terribly difficult for you to get your equipment from the store back to your farm. Where am I? Okay, we're up in this area. So there's quite a few little fields over here. Again, there's a barn over here. Building here. Again, I think it's decoration more than anything. A couple of sheds down here. Don't know if we can actually use these. House. Don't know if that's got a sleep trigger in it. So we've got a fair few fields here. So if we look at the map, and I'm going to buy a plot of land, that basically gives me access to 3 fields for 244,000. That would then give me access to 6 fields for just over 500,000. That's going to give me a... So, yeah, you can see that buying this area, that's probably going to cost me a good part of $1 million to buy all this area here. We go back over to this corner. See, we get all that area. We do 243,000. So you can have both of you can see that's promising, you see. I mean, this has got a load of fields all fairly compact in one sort of spot. As this one has got slightly bigger fields. Fields are slightly bigger sizes. If we're going to go down the road of just doing fields to start, I mean, this has got a nice big area over here. Buy that. Do you know what? We're going to buy this area. I'm committed now. Buying this area. There we go. Done it. Been impulsive. And I've bought the area. Right. Let's now have a look. See what I can demolish in this area. Can I demolish the bar? The answer to that is no. Demolish the shed? The answer to that is no. Demolish anything. Huh. Giants, dear Giants, if you're watching this, you need to be able to let us delete decorations. I don't necessarily want money, but if I buy an area of land like this, can you at least let me clear the crap that's on it so I can put my own stuff down? Because that's a problem then. That's not terribly useful. These buildings you can't open up. I can't do anything with those. I don't suppose there's a, we don't even get a sleep trigger, look. So can't sleep because I need a farmhouse. I'm going to have to place another farmhouse, which is 150,000. I mean, yes, I could technically park vehicles and equipment in here. That shed's not completely useless. However, these ones appear to be completely useless. You know. Giants, you had one job, Giant. Giants, you had one job. Make the map playable. And I can't build anything. Oh, collectibles. Got some collectibles. That's about the only good thing. Let's come out of this area. Right then, we're gonna have to get creative. We are gonna have to get creative with our building placements and stuff, because like I say, can't remove these buildings. Right, so we own all these fields, and all these fields have got various different crops growing on them. They're all at different stages of development and what have you. And let's have a quick look. We've got field 78 to harvest and field 81 to harvest, which are going to be canola, is that? And is that looks like oat to me. That is oat. So I need a harvester that can do oat and canola with a suitable header. Right. We're going to have to call the shop. We're going to need a harvester with a header. Probably just going to lease it for today to do this. You know what? Let's have an X9, shall we? At least that's 28 grand. What we're going to want for headers? 13.7? Yeah, we'll have a 15.7. And then we're going to want headers. Going to want something to put it on. At least one of those. Right. Here we are then, folks. 1, Oh, is this harvester slow as hell? Right, we'll drop the header on. That's locked on and locked in place. Right, next thing we want then, we're going to want a tractor. And we're going to want a trailer. Probably not going to go for a massive tractor to start with. XR? Yeah, I'll go with a 6R. I don't want anything with manual gears, if I can help it. I'll get it with communal. Don't need it with any attachers. We will have a big horsepower jobby on it. And then we want a trailer, obviously, for putting our harvest into. Oh, we've got loads of new trailer mods, by the way, today. Loads of new trailer mods. I'm going to take this one, the Stevie one. Have Michelin. Just going to have it as standard. Lease that. Right. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to send her this drive, we're going to send this person off on a job, basically. Go to target position. There. Right. I can follow them. I'm going to use them to teach me the map. Put my bacon on. Okay, his workers electing to go this way. I'm going to follow him. At some point, he's going to disappear off into the distance because he's a lot faster than me. A lot faster than me. That wasn't too bad. I feel we've made it. Well, I'm going to spin round. unfold. Home sorted out. Fairly low to the ground, I think. Canola is our first crop then that we're harvesting. See, these are tiny little fields. Tiny little field. Look at Dolores. She's loving it. She's jumped straight into the X9 and she's loving it. I don't think she got to drive an X9 in FS19, sadly. I don't think the X9 was a thing until after we'd finished. I mean, her last adventures in Farming Simulator 19 for me were on Lakeland Vale. That was the last map that Dolores was that we were with Dolores. It was Lakeland Vale. So yeah, I don't think she ever got to play with an X9 harvester. So yeah, this is a new experience for her. I do love that the combine headers follow the terrain a lot better in Farming Simulator 22. The whole new flexible header system that Giants have put in the game this year. Huge improvement. Seeing the headers actually follow the contours and flex it. They flex left to right and they flex up and down. So much better. You won't miss crop if you're going over little hills and dips and stuff on your fields. Right. Mr. Tractor, if you could be so kind now as to come and unload me. Because you do now need to go and sell this. A little R6. 6R. Nice little tractors, these. These were good little workhorses in FS19. Look, you can see, look at the header on the combine. It's tilted. It thinks I'm parked on a slope. Look, it thinks I'm on a slope. So it's flexed and folded. Love it. Yeah. Oh, New change to Farming Simulator 22. You've got to have your harvester turned on and the engine running to be able to unload it. It won't unload if the engine's not on, which is something new. Right, what have we got? Canola. So we want to look at the price screen. Feed and Grain South. Where's that? What are you? Carpentry. Rainpool E. Grape processing. Lime Station. Feed and Grain South. There we go. Right, he's heading off to Feed and Grain South. Or he should be. The AI is a little bit herky-jerky, definitely. I think we can all agree. The AI is a little bit herky-jerky. It's Sheamus again, look. It's Sheamus from WWE. It's the Celtic Warrior driving the tractor. He's got that. Right, now Dolores gets to drive back. And then we'll harvest the other field. And then we'll get that crop sold off too. Basically, we're going to work through harvesting all the fields. Because they've all got various different crops on at the minute. Hey! They've all got various different crops on. Which isn't terribly useful. I could have gone that way, I think. Probably go down that way as well if I wanted to. Yeah, if we go this way, and then we're ready. So the next crop to harvest was oat, wasn't it? Old Dolores. Straighten that header up a bit. These fields are so tiny. So like this field and that field on my right definitely want to be joined together because, you know, this field's pathetically small. Unless I sacrifice this field and decide to use it purely as a placeable area and decide to use it for putting my like things like my silo on. And what have you, because we can do some landscaping. Get our own farm silo, so we can store our future crops and harvests. But yeah, there's 3 fields there in an area that, quite frankly, don't need to be 3 fields. They could do with being 1 and giving us a decent yield. Okay, so I've not dropped any straw. Well, I'm not going to have to do any picking up. Right, let's go and unload. This was obviously supposed to be designed to be a pig farm, and I'm guessing that's why there's all the little fields, because then you can harvest a little bit of every crop to keep feeding the pigs. But obviously we're not doing piggies. So, oh, did I look at the wrong place earlier then? Because I was looking at canola, wasn't I? Oat, best price for oat. Is the cereal factory. Okay. So if we need to send the worker to deliver, target is unreachable. Where's the cereal factory then? Let's have a look. What are you over here? Biomass. West Valley. What do we want to you then? Cereal factory. Okay. That's me driving that. Right, so that doesn't work then. I don't get why it's telling me the target is unreachable. Why can't it get to the target destination? That's a strange one. Strange one to figure out. I'd have thought it would have just come more or less down here. And then maybe go this way. Right, we're at the main road now. I'm guessing we go this. And we'll stay on this road. We're obviously making, if we're taking oats to the cereal factory, then we're obviously making porridge. We're going to be making porridge oat. There we go. Let's clean that field up a little bit. Right, will you now actually drive back to the farm out of any chance? If I was to say, go here. You will? Jolly good. Jolly good. Well, I'm going to leave this episode here, folks. If you've enjoyed this little first episode of Elk Creek, make sure to leave me a like on the video. Leave any comments in the comment section down below, obviously. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so, and make sure you've enabled your notification bell. Share the video everywhere you see fit with whoever you see fit. And I'll see you in another episode very soon. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Stay safe. Goodbye for now.